salt bridge is that the flow of electron will take place when we use the salt bridge. If we are not going to use the salt bridge, then there is no flow of electron take place. The value of single electrode cannot be measured experimentally. A half cell reaction cannot take place independently. One can measure only the difference between the electrode potentials of any two half cell reactions. If the cell potential and the electrode potential for one of the half cell reactions are known, the electrode potential of the other electrode can be calculated. Therefore, a standard hydrogen electrode is chosen and all other cell reactions are compared with this standard and set of E naught values are obtained. So, a standard hydrogen electrode is chosen and all other cell reactions are compared with this standard and a set of E naught values are obtained. So, the value of single electrode cannot be measured experimentally. So, we need another half cell. A half cell reaction cannot take place independently. One can measure only the difference between the electrode potential of any two half cells reactions. If the cell potential and the electrode potential for one of the half cell reactions are known, the electrode potential of the other electrode can be calculated. Therefore, a standard hydrogen electrode is chosen and a half other cell reaction are compared with this standard and a set of E naught values are obtained. Electrode potential of copper 2 plus and copper. When a cell consisting of copper electrode immersed in 1 molar solution of copper sulphate solution and a standard hydrogen electrode are connected to a voltmeter, the electromotive force of the cell is observed to be 0.34 volt. Oxidations occur at the standard hydrogen electrode which acts as anode, whereas reduction occur at the copper electrode which acts as a cathode. So, in this process we have observed the electromotive force of the cell is 0.34. The potential of the cell, the two half cell reactions are that hydrogen gas converts into 2 hydrogen plus aqueous plus 2 electrons are given by the hydrogen, while the copper it accepts the electrons released by the above reaction and it precipitates down in the beaker. The EMF of the cell is E naught cell is equal to E naught reactant minus E naught left. The E naught cell is equal to E naught of copper 2 plus to copper minus E naught of hydrogen oblique hydrogen plus. So, the electromotive force is found to be 0.34, while the standard electrode potential of hydrogen is 0. So, there are two types of cells, primary cells and secondary cells. Primary cells irreversibly within limits practically transform chemical energy to the electrical energy. When the initial supply of reactant is exhausted, energy cannot be readily restored to the electrochemical cells by electrical means, while secondary cells can be recharged. That is, they can have their chemical reactions reversed by supplying electrical energy to the cell, restoring their original composition. So, we are now using secondary cells in the mobiles. So secondary cells, they can be recharged, but primary cells, they cannot be recharged. So primary cells transforms transform chemical energy to electrical energy only. And when the initial supply of the reactant is exhausted, there is no release of energy take place. While in the secondary cell, uh, there in the secondary cells, the chemical reactions reversed by supplying electrical energy to the cells and restoring to their original composition. Primary electrochemical cells can produce current immediately on assembly. Disposable cells are intended to be used once and discarded. Disposable primary cells cannot be reliably recharged since the chemical reactions are not easily reversible and active materials may not return to their original forms. Common types of disposable cells include zinc carbon cells and alkaline cells. Secondary electrochemical cells must be charged before used. They are usually assembled with active materials in the discharged state. Rechargeable electrochemical cells or secondary electrochemical cells can be recharged by applying electric current, which reverses the chemical reaction that occurred during its use. The oldest form of rechargeable cell is the lead acid cells. Other portable rechargeable cells are nickel cadmium cells, nickel metal hydride cells, or lithium ion cells. Indirect redox reactions. The transfer of electron is limited to very small distances and therefore no useful electrical work could be obtained. So in the direct redox reaction, there is a, there is a movement of the electrons, but it is very limited and it is up to a small distance, and therefore no useful electrical work could be obtained in these reactions. When the switch is in the off position, no reaction takes place in either of the beakers and no current flows through the metallic wire when the switch is in the on position. There is a flow of electric current through the external circuit. Then the zinc rod loses its weight and the copper plate gains weight. The concentration of zinc sulfate solution increases and that of copper sulfate solution decreases. The solution in the two beakers remain electrically neutral. Primary cells are those cells in which the chemical reaction occurs only once and cell becomes dead after some times and it cannot be used again. For example, dry cell and mercury cell or lithium cell. So requirements of the primary cells are that they are they they are convenient to use and the cost of discharge should be low. Standby power is desirable. Dry cell consists of a cylindrical zinc container that acts as an anode. A graphite rod placed in the center but not touching the base acts as a cathode. The space between anode and cathode is packed with the paste of ammonium chloride and zinc chloride. So this paste of ammonium chloride and zinc chloride acts as a salt bridge, and the graphite rod is surrounded by powdered manganese oxide and carbon as shown in the figure. The cell is called dry cell because of the absence of any liquid phase. Even the electrolyte consists of ammonium chloride and zinc chloride and manganese oxide to which starch is added to make a thick paste which prevents leakage. The graphite rod is fitted with a metal cap and the cylinder is sealed at the top with a pitch. So this picture shows the uh, working of the dry cell. So there is a protective casting, and graphite rod is in the center of the uh, cell, and it is surrounded by ammonium chloride and zinc chloride paste, and zinc is on the periphery. So this zinc and graphite rod is separated by ammonium chloride and zinc chloride solution, which is which is dissolved in the star solution, and it makes a paste. So this is the negative terminal is on the bottom, while the positive terminal is on the graphite side. Zinc manganese manganese oxide cell is represented as zinc 2 plus comma ammonium manganese oxide. The electromotive force is 1.5 volt. So at a node, zinc loses the electron, and uh, it converts into zinc 2 plus ion, and it loses the 2 electrons, while manganese oxide, it gains the 2 electrons and converts into Mn2O3, and this will take place at the cathode. So the net reaction is that zinc solid reacts with the manganese oxide plus water, and it changes zinc to the zinc 2 ion, and manganese oxide to Mn2O3, and it takes the 2 electrons from the zinc. So a complex compound is formed, that is known as diamine dichlorozinc is formed. So the resulting OH ions react with ammonium chloride to produce ammonia, which is not liberated as gas but immediately combines with the zinc 2 plus and chlorine ions to form a complex salt diamine dichlorozinc. These cells have voltage ranging from 1.25 to 1.50 volt. Primary cells are used in the torches, radios, transistors, hearing aids, pacemakers, watches, etc. The price is very low. These cells does not have a long life because the acidic ammonium chloride corrodes the container even when the cell is not in use. Secondary cell. These cells can be recharged by passing an electric current through them and can be used again and again. For example, a lead storage, nickel, cadmium or lithium ion cells. Secondary cells are widely used in cars, trains, motors, electric clocks, power stations, laboratories, emergency lights, telephone exchange, digital cameras, laptops, etc. These are reversible cells. They behave as galvanic cell while recharging and as electrolytic cells while charging. The nodes and cathodes with very small separation to conserve space are used. Current discharge should be high at low temperature. It should have less variation in voltage during discharge. It should have high energy efficiency. It should be reliable. It should have tolerance to shock, temperature, etc. It should have number of charging and discharging cycles before failure of the battery. So with this up, I am summing. If a number of cells are connected in series, the arrangement is called a battery. The lead storage battery is one of the most common batteries that is used in the automobiles. A 12 volt lead storage battery is generally used, which consists of 6 cells, each providing 2 volt. Each cell consists of lead anode and a grid of lead packet with lead oxide as the cathode. These electrodes are arranged alternately, separately by thin wooden pieces and suspended in dilute sulfuric acid, which acts as an electrolyte. Hence, it is called lead acid battery. So, in lead acid battery, number of cells are connected in series. The arrangement of is called battery. The lead storage battery is one of the most common batteries that is used in the automobiles. A 12 volt lead storage battery is generally used, which consists of 6 cells, each providing 2 volt each. Each cell consists of a lead anode and a grid of lead packed with lead oxide as cathode. These electrodes are arranged alternatively, separated by a thin wooden piece and suspended in dilute sulfuric acid, which acts as an electrolyte. Hence, it is called lead acid battery. At anode, so